Morning in Mumbai can be oddly silent, even in chaos. That stillness you sometimes sense before the city shakes off its sleep. I remember that bawd hush more than the clanging steel or the smell of stale engine oil the day I was let go. Dawn light came through crisscrossed factory windows, drawing dull patterns across the powdery floor. I'd been standing at my assembly line station, thinking about circuits and mechanics, when a hand landed on my shoulder. Ankit, my supervisor, always looked uncomfortable when he had to play the bad guy. His eyes shifted everywhere but my face. "Rishabh," he said quietly, "come to the office." I wiped my hands on my faded jeans. Silence threaded the air as I walked, every step echoing a little too much in the vast space. By the manager's desk, 3 letters waited. Stiff, impersonal, the kind you deliver in batches after hard meetings. He gave me a short speech about cutbacks, that it wasn't personal. I kept nodding and watched invisible dust swirling in the pale sunlight. A pile of incomplete wiring diagrams sat on my bench. It felt wrong leaving them. I picked up my bag and after a second's pause, pocketed my battered sketchbook, the notebook where I scrawled ideas after work, lines in boxes that meant nothing to anyone but me. As I stepped into the smoky chill outside, the factory gates clanged behind me, marking the start of a long, long silence. When I reached home, the city was fully awake. Honks and shouts bounced off the apartment towers in Worli, people rushing but going nowhere new. My mother in her faded cotton sari was boiling milk. The scent drifted through our flat, familiar and comforting. She looked relieved for a second to see me. Then she noticed the time. "Shayad overtime mila beta?" she asked, hopeful. I just shook my head. The emptiness behind my ribs pressed in. She waited, hope flickering. I told her, job gone, company struggling, nothing in my hands. She pressed her lips thin. That was her way of keeping panic out of her voice. "We'll manage," she said simply, and began hunting for ways to save. A little less gas, a little less tea, skipping newspaper deliveries. I told her not to worry. She smiled, but her eyes flicked to the closed door of my father's small room. When Papa found out, things shifted quickly. He worked at a bank, always thinking in columns and neat lines, expenses, income, risks. To him, dreams were like firecrackers, bright, distracting, then gone, leaving a mess someone else must sweep. The next evening at dinner, he broke the silence. "Beta, the world is not waiting for you to invent something magical," he said, laying down his spoon. "What is this artificial intelligence business? Fancy talk, no future for ordinary people. My uncle, visiting for tea, weighed in. Get a government job. Life will be stable." I didn't answer. I stared at my sketchbook on the table, corners curling upwards. I'd filled those pages for years, since college, when I first heard of self-learning machines and how data could build understanding. While my friends fretted over civil service exams, I spent nights drawing diagrams and reading white papers from foreign universities, clinging to the hope that I could build something different. The ridicule started out soft, teasing from my cousins. Snide jokes at weddings. "Look," someone would say, "there's the next Einstein." Laughter always followed. As months passed and the savings thinned, the jabs turned sharper. Papa's voice got tired one night. "You are 26, with a degree you don't use, and dreams too big for this flat. Mumbai doesn't care about your machine learning. It cares about rent." Even Ma, so patient, started hesitating before handing me the last 10 rupees for bus fare. The silent resolve set in slowly, as if settling into my bones. I learned to live with it, the sense of falling behind, of belonging nowhere. But I couldn't let go of the old obsession. Even after rejections from tech companies, no IIT, no pedigree, I filled the hours with free online courses, tutorials, YouTube lectures, whispered through old headphones until my ears ached. The city outside was never quiet, but inside there was silence, discipline. Some nights, I put my sketchbook under my pillow, as if proximity would spark a shortcut in my sleep. I got used to the look in Papa's eyes, a mix of disappointment and resignation. "Even rickshaw drivers bring home cash," he said once, not unkindly. I started working as a lab assistant at a coaching center, soldering wires for biology projects, teaching math basics to restless teens. The money was little, but it was something. Through it all, I worked on my own, building a crude AI bot in our bedroom with the single window. I borrowed an old laptop from a neighbor, patched together processors from scrap, coded overnight when slow internet let me. It wasn't beautiful, but the bot managed simple tasks, sorting emails, suggesting answers to questions that students messaged me. One stifling monsoon night, I stayed up pushing through errors, cursing the constant outages. Finally, the bot managed its first coherent reply to a biology question. Short, clunky, but correct. I reread the code line by line, almost afraid to believe I had written something that could think, even if just a little. I put a video demo online, heart thudding. A week passed, nothing. Then an email pinged in my inbox. Someone from Hyderabad, running a fledgling edtech startup, had seen my bot and wanted to talk. We set up a call. My hands trembled when they asked if I could replicate or improve the algorithm for their learning platform. I nodded, and for the first time in 2 years, I saw possibility rippling ahead. A slender rope out of the fog, not yet a road, but real. Within months, I was working remotely for them, earning just enough to help Ma buy proper rice and cover electricity bills on time. I moved from fixing bugs to leading feature development. The team pushed me, taught me agile workflows and code review etiquette, and slowly my bot evolved. After a year, I applied for a junior engineer's role in a growing AI consultancy in Bengaluru. To my shock, I got it. The offer was more money than I'd ever imagined. I left Mumbai carrying a single bag and my battered notebook. Papa stood in the balcony as my taxi pulled away, one hand raised. Whether in farewell or relief, I couldn't tell. Life unspooled at double speed after that. I got obsessed with deep learning. My team built tools for contract analysis, helping lawyers sort thousands of pages in minutes. Then predictive analytics for logistics companies. I climbed steadily, junior engineer, then project lead. I moved into a shared flat with other young code monks, learned to drink filter coffee, worked 15-hour days, glued to screens and massive whiteboards. Success, I learned, is quiet at first, a steady income, a few LinkedIn congratulations, then larger projects, then a promotion. One of my algorithms was shortlisted for a national innovation grant. Another formed the skeleton of a startup's product that took off. For a long time, I didn't look back. I was always tired, but it was a good tired, the kind that comes from pushing, learning, failing, then getting it right. Sometimes, in the middle of debugging a neural net, memory would surface, whirly flats at dusk, Ma calling me to dinner, Papa's voice in the hallway. I would pause and suddenly miss the weight of ordinary disappointments, miss it because now I was someone else, somewhere else, but the ache had made me who I was. It was my mother's 70th birthday that brought me back to Mumbai. She called one evening, her voice shy with invitation, as if she worried I'd be too busy. "You will come, na, beta?" "Of course," I said, and started planning, though part of me was nervous. I hadn't been home in 3 years. When I landed, the heat hit like old music, sticky, familiar, insistent. The city had changed, and not at all. I walked past the same tea stalls, the same umbrellas flapping in the monsoon breeze. Our flat looked smaller now. My old room, converted to storage, still held that window I'd stared through all those nights. Ma enveloped me in a crushing hug. "See, Raju, your boy is back," she whispered at my father. Papa looked older, slower to move, but he smiled, stiffly but truly. "You've become fairer," he joked, a family fallback always about skin tone. My uncle, ever the instigator, appeared before dinner. He winked slyly and began the old routine. "So, Beta, how's the software business? Still playing on computers?" I watched his grin. I'd changed, but their scripts hadn't. This time, instead of nodding, I smiled and pulled out my phone. "Did you see the news last month?" I asked quietly, scrolling. Our company's legal assist tool was featured in the Economic Times. I handed him the screen. He squinted, lips moving as he read my name in the byline. "That's—" His voice faltered. Ma peered over, pride shining in her tired eyes. Papa remained quiet, then reached for my hand. I let him hold it, surprised by the dry warmth. Late that evening, word got out. Our cousin Sneha burst in, clutching her phone. "Bhaiya, your image is posted everywhere. Did you really speak at that engineering conference?" She scrolled fiercely, showing me tagged photos, me on stage, awkward in a blazer. The news spread through the building. Kids from our floor, who used to call me Dreamer Bhaiya, peered in as if trying to spot the difference success might make on a person's face. The true reckoning came at our family dinner the next night. Papa gathered everyone, relatives who had measured my worth in stale government flyers, neighbors who once called me useless. The